all the way from the time I was about 14 to 18, one of the things that I actually dreaded the most was the idea of one day having a daughter. And the crazy part is, I know it's not just me who's felt that way before, one, because I've seen posts online about it, but most of my friends felt the same way. And what took me a long time to realize, or way longer than it should have, and it really took Christ coming and saving me and changing the way I operated in my life to really have the full realization. The only reason I felt that way is because in reality, it was really just a perception of me. It was a mirror looking back at me. It was a perception of how I viewed women, how I treated women, and just the type of women that I was hanging around. I know I've said it in videos before, but I'll say it again. I started to get into watching the red pill-esque type of content around the time I was 16, and I actually started making videos about that type of content when all the lockdowns and stuff were going on. So this is like 2020, and I actually started to gain a pretty big following off of it, and eventually I started living that stuff, right? I tried to do that. I was commitment phobic, to be fully transparent. A lot of the posts online that you'll see guys talking about trust issues or having negative views towards women, it's because they got played out, right? They gave their heart to this woman and she crushed it. I'm not even gonna lie, and I don't mean this in I'm proud of this type of way, or oh, I'm cooler for this or something like that. I'm just being honest. My trust issues and my negative views toward women actually came because I was typically the dude on the other side of that equation. I wasn't ever the boyfriend, if that makes sense. And that trained me from a pretty young age, right? 15, 16 years old, that the girls that I did it didn't work, right? And that feels uncomfortable. I hated those feelings. But if I just don't make myself attached and I basically keep everything shallow and it's just hookups, it's just the surface level stuff, then I'll never get attached enough. I'll never be emotionally invested enough in this woman, so I'll never get hurt again. Subconsciously, that's what was actually going on in my brain. But I thought it was just because, oh, you're more masculine if you do this, or this is just a cool thing to do, man. You're supposed to have fun, man. You're in high school. Have fun. Whatever you believe in is actually faith. Whatever you have faith in, you're going to attract said thing. That's a biblical principle. And so if you believe naturally that all women are hoes, or that most women act this certain type of way, especially if you were like me and you watched a lot of the red pill-esque type of content, you're only going to attract the type of women that fit that description. Also, because of the actions and the way that you would carry yourself and the way that you would speak to women, you're only going to attract the women who, if we're really being honest, don't have a father in their life. That's really what it is. On a basic level, which it sounds like I'm joking, but I'm really not. When you get older, if you have a daughter, dude, all you got to do is just tell her that you love her and actually mean it, and you'll be fine. You're not gonna have a hoe daughter. More than anything, I really just wanted to make this video almost for a younger me. One, because I'm going to talk about God in every single video, right? Christ changed my life in every single realm of life. I'm never going to stop talking about that. When you're in these toxic dating situations where it's oh, they took an hour to respond and now I have to wait 2. Or you like this girl, but you're going to try and talk to other girls and flirt with them and possibly hook up with them just so that you don't get attached to the girl that you actually like. I'm not attacking anybody with this. I'm just making this video basically for a younger me. I'm telling you, that stuff is such a waste of time, bro. And also, then you're going to meet good women, right? Because this happened to me too. You're going to meet good women and you're not even going to know how to treat them. You're not even going to know how to really take it to the place where you want it to go, because eventually, this is another truth too. All the guys that struggle with this type of stuff, right, where they think they want to sleep around, or they think by going to God, they'll be giving up that lifestyle. What I also realized is eventually you're going to meet the type of girl you're wow, I would really love to cuff her. This is the type of girl I would really love to date. And you've trained the wrong skills so much. You've trained the short-term gratification skills so much, and you've never trained these the abilities to get into a long-term relationship, you'll just blow it up. You'll ruin it. Bro, I bought into that mindset so much that one time there was this beautiful blonde girl, right, that I was really into. We were hitting it off a lot. And I thought that if I made it clear that there were other women in my life, if there were other girls that were interested in me and possibly I was hanging out with and stuff, she would like me more. And so I would low-key post subliminal stuff on my story to let her know, right? Where you post a girl's leg sitting next to yours and you post it on your Snapchat story. I was so retarded for that. What was I thinking? And the reason I'm saying this is just because it just comes full circle, right? You do this stuff so then you have a perception of both yourself and of women. Then you do these things so you get those type of women that are going to be into this toxic version of you, which reinforces those previous beliefs. Because you have those said beliefs, you then go into the cycle of looking around to affirm those beliefs, whether it's the content that we watch, the people that we hang around, the women that we do talk to, whatever. And you just create this endless cycle where then you fully believe it and you're backing it up, and then it just gives you a more negative perception and a more negative perception, and then it's just a cycle. It's just a cycle over and over again. Like I said, I'm not attacking anybody. I'm just talking to younger me. By no means am I saying there aren't like hoes out there or some girls that will do you dirty. I'm telling you, there's a lot of them. If we're being like, there's tons. I mean, I get it. But one of the honest truths is kids tend to grow up and date someone that's similar to one of their parents. Typically, if it's a daughter, it's someone similar to their father in some aspect. And if you're the type of guy who does like all of the crazy stuff, this is just looking at me. If I was the type of guy who continued to do all of the crazy stuff, I was eventually going to settle down with the type of woman that was cool with that crazy stuff. So then all of like my daughters or my kids' influences would have just been those type of people, the people that wanted to live that lifestyle, and guaranteed she's going to go be a hoe because she had a mom that either was a hoe or was attracted to that like toxic type of stuff, and a dad who had designed his mind to only view women in a certain way. Like, it's almost guaranteed. It's like a cycle. It just repeats itself. It just spits out more hoes. Once I found God, once I got on Christ-focused self-improvement, and I actually took the time to really start to understand why I believed the stuff that I did or why I wanted to do the stuff that I did, I started learning about attachment styles and such. And you start learning about when you were growing up as a child and like the things that would have formed that. And then you stop and you almost have to renew your mind, as Romans 12:2 says. It began to just flip, and it was slow, right? It was a slow change. But fast forward a year or so after really working on it, it's like my dating life has completely changed. The type of women that I interact with has completely changed. And it's definitely less women because I think there's just less people in general that are like really put together. But it's the type of people that I actually want to be around, the type of people that I would be proud to bring home to my parents, the type of person that I would be proud to post on social media or anything like that. And I think any guy who's being honest with himself, he wants that more than any amount of bodies or busted nuts or anything like that. But Christ-focused self-improvement is what I teach. Down in the description below, we have a free community for young Christians, so go join it. There's even a free guide inside on how to quit pornography. I'm trying to upload on YouTube every single day, so subscribe for more. I'll see you tomorrow. Like this video, subscribe. Again, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.